Today we're talking about how to estimate a mulch job. If you're new in the lawn and landscape industry and you're trying to take on some new services, maybe you just got out and started mowing and you want to try to do a little bit more for your clients, and you see that, hey, they need mulch in their landscape beds. Maybe you're already trimming bushes and you're seeing that, man, after I trim, I would like to be able to clean up these beds even more. And you've been racking your brain about how to do that. Well, this is the perfect video for you. I'm gonna go over how we do this, how I started doing this, make this as easy as possible. So after this video, you're able to go find out a couple things from your local area and you're able to go right out and start doing mulch estimates. So if that sounds like something that'll bring value to you, make sure you share this with someone else that will wanna know, and hit that like button. I really appreciate that. That helps this channel get information to more people. So when we're talking about mulch beds, the first thing we're going to do, and this is going to give you the base foundation for doing any kind of material estimating like rock and other things in the future, but we're going to use some basic geometry. We need to figure out square footages of the bed areas. And a lot of people overthink. I am going to encourage you, actually I'm going to demand that you eliminate overthinking right now from your psyche. Don't be like, oh, that bed, is it perfect? Is it not? That's not how you do this, okay? A mulch estimate, when we get square footage, it's length times width. Don't be trying to figure out these special shapes. Don't be trying to figure out a triangle. Make a landscape bed. If it's along the front of a house and it's bigger here and it's smaller here, make it into individual squares so you can do length times width of either. If it's a big circle, measure from one side to the other, and then maybe not measure all the way out to the end, because some is going to be allocated to those void spots, like because of the circle, right? It's going to actually allocate down and cover the whole. So you're doing the best average length times width of certain areas. And the other piece of advice I can give on that for you is always lean towards over measuring. Everything in your business, when it comes to numbers, on estimates, on business, anything you do, always veer towards what's going to help the business. So you don't ever want to come up short on a mulch estimate. You'd rather have too much than too little, because it's a super pain if you got to go get more material. You don't allocate for that time. So have a little bit extra. Measure when you're measuring. I'd rather go over a little bit, or I would round up. So if I have 4.5 yards or whatever the case may be, I would always, if I had 4.2, I'd always go to 4.5. So that is enough about measuring. You're going to get the square footage, and then you're going to take that square footage, add it all together. You're going to have a total square footage. Now at the last part of this, we're going to talk about how that can play for certain things to really help you do this job. So number 2 is we're going to assess the area. Okay, I'm probably doing this all at the same time, but for sake of me trying to be detailed on what you need to do a mulch estimate for your lawn and landscape company, next we're going to assess the area. We're going to look, is this bed in really good condition and it doesn't have many weeds or anything? Like, is it perfect and we're only adding color, or is it destroyed and it's full of weeds and the edges are garbage and everything? One takes a lot more work than the other. So when you put together your quote, you're going to need to know these variables. You're also going to need to know variables of, is this bed in a backyard where there is horrible access and it takes a long time to get there, or is this bed in the very front yard? These are all variables that I look at when I'm building an estimate on mulching to try to give a true answer and to try to give a true good amount of budgeted time and everything to make sure this estimate comes in on budget, and so that the company and everybody makes money. All parties are happy that way. So after we look at the variables, and like I said, those variables are weeds, those variables are dirty edges, those variables are stuff needs to be sprayed, whatever the case may be. A lot of times if you look at a landscape bed and they're wanting mulch but the bushes are in horrible situation, a lot of times I would say, hey, for this much more we can trim the bushes too, because when we do new mulch, it's going to make the bushes look bad, plus it's going to make it harder to do the job. So that's another variable you may want to think about. So we have looked and got our square footages. We've looked and got our variables. And now I want to talk to you about how we put all of that together. Here's the last piece to the estimate. We're distilling this down to very easy. First of all, we need to source our mulch. Where are we getting mulch from? We need to know the cost of mulch so we can effectively do an estimate and not just be winging it, right? Well, that question now becomes of where you're at and what is the most common thing to be used. In Illinois, we use semi-loads of mulch. We use bulk mulch. Here in Florida, Every once in a while we use bulk mulch, but most of the time we use bag mulch. You're going to want to go and see in your area where people getting this material. If you're already in the industry and you're starting some stuff, this should be very easy to find out. You can ask people that you're around. You can call the suppliers in town. Just get a feel for it. Most importantly, just take action on it, because the more you think about it and worry about it or overthink it, the less you'll get done. So you just need to go out there, find what you're going to use. It doesn't matter if it's the cheapest price. You're going to mark it up accordingly, and you can always find better deals as you go. So we're going to source what kind of material we need, right? After that, we're going to get that material and look per yard. How much is it going to be? And actually, let me rewind this a little bit before we even get to that per yard. What I'm going to give you is, if you type in landscape mulch estimator, it's usually near the very top of the Google search. I can't remember necessarily which one it is, but it's my favorite one. Actually, let's do this together. Let's look it up right now, and I'll show you on the camera. Because why I like this so much is it doesn't just give you the yards, it gives you the bags of mulch you'll need. Landscape, just type in landscape mulch calculator. Okay, my favorite one, it's landscape calculator is what it's called. When you go into it, this is what it should look like. Try to get that to focus. There you go. On the top line, you put in area in square feet. On the bottom line, you put in inches. I usually say 2 inches. Some people say that's not enough. It's because I always overestimate on square footages, so I'm always going to have enough. And so now we say 600 square feet of beds. When I hit calculate, it's going to tell me all useful information. It's going to tell me yards of mulch. It's going to tell me bags of 2 cubic foot bags of mulch. This job would take 80 for 600 square foot. This is all useful information. And I'm going to tell you why this is useful, because the bags gives you your quantity, the yards gives you your quantity. And I typically say on most jobs, it takes about a man hour to install a yard of mulch. For sure on bag mulch, you can fly bag mulch in because you're not scooping it up. You're just picking it up, flopping it down in the bed and cutting it. A lot of people think, how is bag mulch good? Well, damn, dude, it is super efficient once you get with it and you get rolling. So there's the tool. We're gonna figure out that so we can put the square footage in there, and then that's going to tell us the yards and or bags depending on where we have to get the stuff we have to get. Now, once you know what you're gonna get, you need to make sure, one, if you buy a product, say it's a $4 bag of mulch, well, we need to add tax to that. So the cost to us is that bag of mulch plus the tax, whatever that is in your area. I always say 10% because in Illinois, we're really close to 10% in some areas. We're like 9.5. Here in Florida, it varies in different areas. And I just want to be covered, plus have a little bit of, here again, always play to the good for the company. You want to do everything to veer towards profit, because profit allows you to create more future opportunity for everyone in your company and for yourself and the community, because you're able to go out there and give and do other things. So always veer towards the good. Next, you're going to want to mark this up. When I first started my business, I made a huge mistake of I just looked at everything as a flow through. Unfortunately, yeah, it can flow through your business, but if a dollar flows through my business, I want to make money on that dollar. I need to make sure that we're making profit on every dollar, so at the end of the year, our business can hit the goals it's trying to hit. And we need to do that the best we can, because no matter whether you like it or not, there's going to be a lot of things in your business that you do for free that you don't make money on, that you screw up on. That's why when we have the opportunity, like material, to easily make a percentage on that material as it moves through the company, we need to take that advantage and use it to our advantage. So after I put the 10% on it, I'll then turn around and typically put 20 to 30% on the material. If it's a material that really allows for a lot of room, it could be higher than that. So that's going to be something that you're just going to take in stride. I would say start with 20 and then start building from there. This is just a markup, much different than margin on your actual business, or there's so many things with numbers. So let's keep it easy right now. So we're going to take that, we're going to add that to that material, and now this is what the material costs. So if said job, now we're going to add all our pieces. We've looked at our variables. We've got our material. We know our quantities. If said job, now we'll just use the one, for example, that's in my phone. It's 600 square foot of beds. If that's going to take 80 bags of mulch, I'm going to go in. What I'm probably going to do to start my estimates, especially if I'm a beginner and I don't have any tools, I don't have a CRM yet, I'm either going to do it on paper or I'm going to get an Excel spreadsheet and build this out, because I want to build things out so I can do them over and over and over again, extremely repetitively and quicker. So I'm going to first look, okay, this is how much bag is marked up, and I'm going to make the calculator where I can say 80 bags of mulch, bang. Okay, that was roughly 3.5 yards, so I'm going to charge 4 hours of labor to install it. Okay, done. There's my, here this is given assuming you know your man-hour rate, right? And we're not going to get into that. That's another much bigger wormhole, and you can look at some of my old videos, and we will be shooting more content on this as these things evolve, but you can look at some of my old videos to dig that. So 4 hours for this. Now we're going to want to think about delivery. Okay, how much delivery are we going to have? You know, that's going to range on what that cost is to you. There's a lot of time. Maybe you're going to try to have it delivered to site because you don't have the resources to get it there right off the beginning. You know, maybe $75, maybe $50, maybe $100. I don't know. These are going to be things you have to determine. Here again, don't overthink it. If you're lost and you don't know, stick 75 to it and get started, right? It's more important to get started than it is to be right. You will continue correcting. And you're never, even the people that think they're right are never 100% right. They're still making assumptions using their best judgment and testing as they go. Okay, next we're going to look at disposal of our other variable. What was our other variable? Our other variable was how much bed cleanup is there? And so there's a lot of different ways I look at beds. If it's something that's not that minor or not that bad, I might just say, hey, we'll just put 1 man-hour on that to clean up the beds. But if it's something that is maybe worse, or maybe I'm new and I don't really know and there's a bunch of little weeds, I'll probably, cleaning up a mulch bed, I'll probably charge somewhere between 25 cents and $1 a square foot to really clean up a bed. If I have to do a bunch of natural edging, I'll probably charge $2.30, $2.40 a foot for that as well, to give them true, deep, nice natural edges. And so that can be the thing. I know the outside footage for the natural edge, so I can say, hey, that's X amount per foot. My calculator is going to put that in on my Excel sheet, or I'm going to do it on a piece of paper. I'm going to walk through that. Okay, we're doing 100 foot of edging, right? So that means this bed is 60 feet, or what is that? 6 feet by 100 to make 600 square foot. We're going to put that edging in. Now, depending on prep, if it's not much, I might just say a man-hour, a couple man-hours. If I know for sure, if I'm concerned, I'll use my square footage method where I say 25 cents to 50, and then I'll cross-reference that against how much man-hours that produces. And for you to think about how that cross-references, we'll do it real quick on the calculator. If you say your man-hour rate is 60, and don't hold me to any of these, or 80 or 90, 100, it could be whatever. We'll go with 60 for this example. If it's 600 square feet, and then times 25 cents, that's $150. Divide by that $60 rate. That means I always like to cross-verify. Even when I use these square footage measurements, I like to cross-verify and see and figure out what does it say that's actually going to come out to. Because yeah, I might be able to make a judge just looking at it, but I want to do that and then say, oh, 2.5 hours. Yeah, that sounds good. That's how I'll do that. And that helps you learn in the future that, oh, I can put 25 cents on that. That's going to cost $1. That's going to cost that, based on how it looks. And you start getting more and more mathematical versus, yeah, 2 hours. Once you've added all of those extra things, your variables, your disposal, here again, your disposal, you're gonna have to call where you get rid of stuff, and you're gonna have to figure out what it costs. I know here in Florida, when we dump a full load of stuff, we're up to like $74, $80 with markup on it. Disposals and deliveries are gonna be the same way. We're gonna mark those up so we make money on those. We're gonna add tax to the fee, we're gonna mark the fee up, and then we're gonna associate some kind of time for an employee to do that as well. So here again, don't give it too much thought. Don't get crazy with it. Just make sure you put something and allocate towards it and keep adjusting and make sure it's right. It doesn't matter if you're wrong when you start. It's just how quickly you correct. And that's why you shouldn't start on massive jobs, because a lot of us are wrong when we start, and it's a lot easier to correct small problems than it is big problems. So that's how we do this. We put all this stuff together and we deliver this to a person as our estimate. And that's why I don't particularly love the $120 a yard, $200 a yard, whatever, because that's not really going down into the details of the variables for a given job to allow someone to truly be successful on the job. So in the comments below, Let me know how you are doing this now. Are you having problems? Are you going under on material? Are you going over on material? Are you always way over on your budgeted hours? Or do you just wing it and you're not quite sure? I'd love to hear that in the comments below. Again, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Share this if you think that this could help someone else. And this is all the stuff that we talk about in GrowCom, like training on things like this, training on other business aspects if you're wanting to grow your lawn and landscape company. And also, it's going to be the exact things, company growing and company information that we're going to go over in our training here in Cape Coral, Florida. So either way, if you got something out of this video, make sure you hit the like button. I'll talk to you soon.